Hello all you crafty people out there, welcome to our very first craft and sewing theme video of 2019. Hope that you have had a really fruitful 2018 crafting year and that you are geared up and ready and excited and driven for what you are going to create in this new year. Like I did last year, and those of you seem to really enjoy that, I'm going to share with you my sewing intentions for the 2019 year, and I prefer and have chosen to switch my vocabulary to intentions instead of sewing resolutions or sewing goals, because I felt like it gives me a lot more flexibility and fluidity in terms of the projects I may choose or may change my mind about throughout the year. Previously, I had done things that are project specific as part of my resolutions. That's what I used to call them, but I found it really limiting and I changed my mind throughout the year. Then I felt bad I wasn't living up to my resolutions and feel a bit of a, like a bit of a failure at the end of the year. Let's be honest here. So last year was the first time I decided to do sewing intentions, and those are broader categories and themes, and I think I'm going to stick with that this year as well. I would love to hear from you and hear a bit of what you are planning for 2019. If you're a crafter, if you're a sewist, a seamstress, whatever that you do, maybe you do other crafty projects like woodworking or whatnot, leave me a comment down below and share with me what your intentions or resolutions are in the crafty realm for the upcoming year. So I started off by giving myself a little plan in my sewing journal. This is my sewing journal. I feel like I've shown you this in a previous video. If I have, I'll try to dig it up and link it down below in the information bar for you. I started off with the color of the year, and Pantone's color of the year for 2019 is a really great one. It's called Living Coral. It's really optimistic, fresh, young, youthful, bright, and I think just something that in different variations will look good on pretty much everybody. So previously, when Pantone had done color of the year, I wasn't always into it, I gotta say. There are some colors that were just like, oh, not really my thing, but I'm really feeling it with Pantone's choice this year. So I decided to kind of put that front and center in my sewing plans. So Living Coral, and I started thinking about what kind of adjectives and moods and variations of Living Coral I want to kind of focus on. And I generated a few adjectives I think gelled really well. I had like flirtatious, alive, youthful. I have juicy, playful, joyous, sunshine. So it's a really optimistic theme, and I think direction for our new year. So with that being said, I gave myself 6 general categories and sewing intentions. So in no particular order, but I will start off because that was what was in my brain. Number 1 is to sew something with the color of the year. I will make a further video, probably, let's aim for January, but if not, for sure February, about the color of the year and kind of what items I have around my apartment or my makeup or my clothing or my sewing stash that revolves around Living Coral. But my first intention is certainly to make something with that color palette, and I think if you take variations of it, whether you decide to do nectarine or peach or grapefruit or melon, variations of coral, it would look really nice. So that's number 1. The second thing, which I did in 2018 as well, and I really enjoyed it, was to make a selfless project. And I find that when I make things for myself, I sometimes, take shortcuts and cut corners and you just want to be done. When you create something for somebody else, you take that time to slow down and really make it like good and nice, because you're giving it away to somebody. I feel like there's always that little extra step of pressure when you are creating a piece for somebody else. So I did that last year. I want to do that again this year, and I think I already know what my project is going to be, but I'll talk about that at the end of the video. Number 3 is again to make something vintage. Didn't quite get to that last year, I don't think, but this year I've started, well, actually in around December or so, I was playing around with a muslin from a vintage blouse pattern that I think fits pretty well. So I'm excited to try to work on that and a few other things in 2019. Just one vintage inspired project. That's really all I want. I don't sew a lot of vintage, even though I collect a lot of vintage patterns. So this is something that I'm always working towards, if you will. But out of the things I have made, which are vintage inspired or vintage patterns, I really do love them and they just look fabulous. So that's number 3. Number 4, I am still determined to do something outerwear related. Or even if not outerwear, let's try for like in-between layers. You know, here in Vancouver, you either have your big winter coat or your just like t-shirts and shorts. So for me though, for work and also just for my everyday, I like having a middle ground layer. For example, a long cardigan or something a little chunkier that can serve as outerwear in the spring and summer, but can also be that middle layer in the fall and winter time. I really want to do something outerwear related-ish, and again, I think I have something in my mind and the pattern already good to go. Okay, number 5 is something cozy. You know, feeling really settled into my space right now. I'm sure you can tell, like, I'm quite comfortable in my space, especially on my couch. I want to start sewing more casual, relaxed things. I always flip-flop between the idea of making something really dressy, really fancy, you know, hashtag so frosting, right? Like that theme of things. But on the other hand, I don't have a lot of loungewear that I love. You know, you wear your sweats and you wear your sweatshirts and all that stuff, and that's fine, but I think it's nice to have loungewear pieces that you just wear around the house and that you really enjoy, but also make you feel really good and really happy when you put them on. So something cozy, I'm thinking maybe some lounge pants or maybe a robe in like a really fun printed fabric or something like that. My last sewing intention, number 6 for 2019, is going to be just something happy and frivolous. I don't really have anything in mind in this category yet, but something fun. If you have a recommendation for something happy and frivolous, that a project that you think I would really enjoy, leave it down for me in the comments below. I'm still playing around with the 6th intention. All the other ones, I have a feeling of where I want to go with these things. So what I've done in my sewing planner, in addition to writing out my intentions of the year, I also have here a completion list with dates. So whenever I finish off one of these things, I get to write the date and kind of check it off of my list. I think 6 intentions is pretty doable. Some of them will already have projects associated with it. I won't bore you with all of that in today's video, but if you are interested in what's already on my mind, especially in relation to my sewing intentions for this year, I will add those projects to my blog, which I will link down below for you in the information bar. So pop that open and go check it out if you want a bit more details on that. So with all that being said, again, like I mentioned, I would love to hear what your crafty plans are for this upcoming year. What are you excited about? Like, what gets you going? What are you motivated about? I love to hear about that. And if you got a project or a new pattern that you think I would really enjoy, sneak that down for me in the comment section as well, and I love to go and check it out. Until then, I do tons more crafting and sewing updates over on my Instagram and also on my blog. So go follow me over there as well, and I will see you in our next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.